Good morning, all of you. We thank you all for joining today's session. So we welcome all the officials from various ministries as well as from various departments. So this is basically a generic online training in cyber security. So generic online training in cyber security for central government ministries as well as departments. So the Government of India, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, MeitY is presenting this generic online training in cyber security and executed by various centers of CDAC through virtual-led instructor, mode. And why this training program was started? So the Prime Minister of India, Prime Minister of India has directed, the all ministries and department should have a cyber nucleus at each and every ministry level. So keeping that in mind, so Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology has planned two programs. So one is this generic online training program in cybersecurity. Each and every person can attend this program. And the other program which is started by Ministry is foundation course in cybersecurity. So that foundation course in cybersecurity is for nominated members, those who are already having some kind of experience or those who are already doing some work in the field of IT and ITAS. So those people can join in the training program and it should be nominated by the ministries. So that is one program. Of course, like we are not going to talk that program today, and we are going to talk more on this generic online training program in cyber security. As we all know, due to this pandemic, there was an increase of 600% of cyber crimes. So there is an increase of 600% of cyber crimes. So that is one thing. And every day, like somewhere or other, like we are seeing like various cyber crimes which are happening across the nation. And the cyber crimes rate is also got increased from last 2 to 3 years in various levels. It could be at individual level, at organizational level, national level, and all these things are happening. So all these things today you will be learning. So importantly, we are going to talk on the preventive measures. Like, how do we prevent? How do we prevent ourselves to, to safeguard ourselves in this digital world? So that is what like we are going to discuss more on this. So every ministry has to have some person with technical aptitudes. They are identified and trained in the cyber security course within 6 months. So these should be in the cyber security nucleus, for the ministry. Sorry. So what was the objective of this program? The objective of this program is to train the larger number of people in the government personnel about the pitfalls of the cyber security. Like what are the kind of frauds are happening, and how do we safeguard ourselves in this digital world? So that is what we are going to discuss more on this. That's in the IT and ICT environment, and introduces cyber aspects. And a target group of audience, each and every departmental official can participate in this program. And along with this online program, we also have this e-learning program on cyber hygiene practices. So who are all attending this program can also simultaneously register yourself for this cyber hygiene program and get benefit out of this program, so that you will be building your own skills in the area of cyber security, so that you will be able to take care of yourself in the digital world. And government employees who are actively using the IT and ICT devices in the personal as well as the organizational contents. Okay, so the persons will get an exposure on some of the common threats which can emerge as phishing, misuse of password, financial frauds, use of social media. All those aspects we are going to discuss as part of our today's session. So today's session is around 4 hours, but it may go slightly up to 4.5 hours, 5 hours. So we request your kind cooperation, all of you. So this is how the sessions are scheduled. In the first session, you will be learning like what is internet and what are the fundamentals of internet, and you also will be learning information security. Like what is information security and what are the things one should take care at organizational level. So those aspects we are going to discuss. In the second session, we are also going to discuss about data protection, password, and mobile app security, browser app security. Okay, at least data protection, password, and browser security and mobile app security. All these things will be discussed in the second session. Okay, if it is time delays, it may go up to another 10-15 minutes beyond 12:30. So we request your kind cooperation. Now itself I'm intimating you so that you also will be preparing, because these are a long sessions. Of course, like we are trying to give our best, so that we will try to give our best so that you will be able to practice and you can safeguard yourselves. And we will be having a break, and again by exactly by 2:30 the next session will start. So we request all of you join the second session by 2:20. So in the second session we are going to learn about social engineering techniques, and you're also going to learn about the network security also. So throughout these sessions, like wherever it is possible, like we are going to show the live demonstrations. Like for example, how do you secure your browser? So those aspects we are going to discuss. And phishing, how a real-time phishing will happen. So those kind of some of the simulations we will be able to show it to you for your better understanding. So this is what the today agenda. I hope the agenda is clear, all of you. We are starting with the internet, and we are going to cover information security, data protection, password protection, browser security, social engineering attacks, and social networking security. So when you are using these social networking platforms like WhatsApp, Twitter, and all, so what are the security measures someone should take care? And you are also doing all these financial transactions. So how do you do these financial transactions, and how do you safeguard yourself in this digital world? So all these things we are going to cover it up throughout these four sessions. I hope the agenda is clear for all of you. And this, as I mentioned to you, so this is executed by the CDAC, all centers. This program we are organizing as part of the ISEA, Information Security Education Awareness Program. Again, that program is by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India. So this program have three main, important objectives. So one is generation of core resource manpower to address the country needs. So we have to generate this research manpower, so that who can perform and who can safeguard our national security. All right, so individual security lead to organizational security and family security, and organizational security lead to national security. In the throughout the chain, if something missed out, like entire thing is going to be in trouble. So that is only the reason, like the government felt like every individual should be trained on all these aspects. Okay, so that is what we are going to do. And like the people who are already in service, so we will train them on the cyber security aspects, like this cyber security generic online training and the foundation security, so that they will be able to take care by themselves and able to deliver their services in an effective manner. And we are also organizing these kind of awareness campaigns across the nationwide. To implement all these things, we have associated 52 institutions that are associated: IITs, IISc, IIT, and NITs, technical institutions, and all CDAC and IELTS centers, all are involved. So all these 52 institutions are looking into the implementation of this program across the nationwide, okay, across the country. So this is how this is the infosec-awareness.in portal. It is our awareness portal. So wherever it is possible, please visit that infosec-awareness.in portal. You will be having quizzes, you will be having the multi-level content, videos, books, cartoons, everything. All these things are, you are having on this platform. So, whenever you get time, please visit that portal so that you will be get all this kind of information. Okay, so this is the portal which I'm talking about. So we are targeting all the users, which starts from children, student, women, family, police, teacher, government employee, system administrator. So all these employees, all these categories of people, all these various stakeholders we are covering, and we have wonderful information. Some of the information is available in multilingual also, so you can make use of that information also. So I request all of you, please read this information so that you will get benefit out of this. Okay, so with this brief introduction, I will hand over the mic to Karanpreet ma'am, who is going to handle the first session on the internet fundamentals and information security. So Karanpreet ma'am, presently working as a project engineer at CDAC Mohali, and she had a rich experience in the cyber safety in the cyber security domain, and she has done number of certifications also in this cyber security domain. So with this brief introduction, So I request Karanpreet madam to continue the session. Thank you, ma'am, joining with
Thank you
us.
so much, sir. Good morning, one and all present. I am Karan Preet and presently working as project engineer in CDEC Mohali. So our today's topic is Internet Fundamentals and Fundamentals of Information Security that we'll be discussing, right? So let's take a look of today's agenda of the session first. Okay, so the outline includes internet fundamentals, information security, basics of information security, analysis of threats and its risk, and then the difference between information IT and network security, along with the policies of information security. So let's start with our session without wasting any time. Okay, so we all know that internet has a great significance in our life. It has opened a new world for many people around the world. You can say many opportunities are also available here, and it has endless, a manifestation of never-ending innovation or endless creativity, right? So with the use of this, we know that the boundaries can also be crossed. Any huge economic, you can say, profit can be found, right? And internet also allows people to improve their quality of life as well. It improves their lifestyle also. It open access to the previously inaccessible things. So when internet is having so many plus points, we must consider like what actually internet is, how it is made, and we all know the various necessities or various applications and significances of internet. We even have a glimpse of like in future also our future is dependent on internet as because it's going to shape a new platform in the field of business and public services. It also provides energy to more people to shape their own life by making advantages of wide opportunities present on internet, right? So when we are so much involved into internet, we are so much dependent upon internet. Let's have a look like what internet is made of, right? So the very first part that is based on is the network. We know that when two computers connect each other, or you can say they communicate with each other, it forms a network. Similarly, more than two, or you can say the entire, let's say, take an example, a laboratory can communicate with each other. That is a small network, right? So we can say that network, we first need to know before going into the deeper depth of what internet is, we must know what network is, right? So when multiple computers are connected to each other and they are controlled by one entity, and the connections are named as router, they are connected with the help of routers, right? So in this way we make a small network, right? And when these kind of small networks connect together, they form networks of network, which can be called as internet, right? So it is the largest network in the world that connect hundreds and thousands of individual networks together all over the world, right? Then there are many kinds of, you can say, LAN, MAN, and WAN. Many kind of networks are present over there. I'll tell you how they are connected, and I'll give you brief example of what is LAN, MAN, WAN is. But before that, there is another important terminology that we must know: internet service provider, from where the internet services are we all are having access to, right? It is from the body or a commercial organization that provides us permanent connections of internet, or you can say it temporarily sells those connections to the subscriber. That is ISP, right? Various companies that work are, you can say, the various examples of the companies which are offering ISP as a ISPs: Prodigy, America Online, Microsoft Network, AT&T Network, right? So let's move to the type of computer networks which we discussed. It's of three types: LAN, MAN, and WAN, right? We discussed about it. Now, what is LAN? LAN is basically local area network, right? Local area network, we mean like you can take an example of again a laboratory. Let's say there is a lab having many systems. Here in the diagram, at the bottom of the screen, you can see here is a LAN, right? It is connect there. Many computers are connected via Ethernet, right? They can be connected in various topologies. Like this is a bus topology wherein all are connected with a single lane. You can say a common line, right? There can be star topology as well, wherein the systems are connected into the shape of the stars. So there can be various topology in which a LAN, in which the system can be connected in the LAN. So one of the example is this one, wherein all the computers can interact with each other through Ethernet, right? So this is local area network. That means the name itself suggests that its limitation would be like a very short, you can say, area, right? Or its limitation is its diameter, where it is, it can be extended. This limitation is overcome by the next type of computer network, that is MAN, Metropolitan Area Network, wherein you can take an example of hospital LAN is connected, and a school LAN is connected, and a factory LAN is also connected to it, and a college LAN is connected to it. So you can say that MAN, that is Metropolitan Area Network, you can take an example of a city wherein all the autonomous bodies or all the individual lands are connected together to make a bigger network, right? That is MAN, Metropolitan Area Network. You can take an example of a city, right? Further, if we talk about WAN, that is Wide Area Network, just imagine of the scenario that an entire country is connected together, an entire continent is connected together, the network of the entire continent, right? Wherein all the small lands and mans are connected together to form a WAN, which is Wide Area Network, right? As the name suggests, it will widen off the you can say connectivity among the networks, right? It will be the largest network. So these are the basic types of networks. Right now, further we will discuss how network and internet are connected. When we talk about internet, we say that we assume that there might be many networks inside this internet as well. Right? In order to give an abstract look to that, this is a kind of a big, you can say, largest network of networks, right? And just assume a scenario wherein a computer is connected to this internet by ISP, and this computer wants to send some message to the receiver side computer structure, right? So that message will be sent into the digital signals, wherein modem, which is modulator demodulator, it will convert these digital signals into the analog signals, right? Similarly, at the receiving end, this entire setup will be followed again, right? And at the end, the recipient computer will receive the message which was sent by the sender computer, right? I hope the picture behind this entire picture is clear to all of you, right? So now the question arises is that in this analogy, in this instance, how this computer comes to know that this message is going to be sent to this particular receiver computer only, right? It is via IP addresses, right? Whatever message is sent, it is either sent to some mail ID or some IP address or some number, let it be phone number, right? So in this way, we always have an IP address. Now, what IP address is? IP address is actually a unique you can say a unique address which each and every computer which is connected to the network is having, right? It is a 32-bit number which is expressed in 4 binary octets. These are the 4 binary octets, or you can say in layman language, there are 4 numbers which are separated with 4 dots, right? 3 dots. So this is for our convenient notation wherein we get to know the address of the recipient as well as the sender, right? So this address can be configured either statically or dynamically, right? Statically, we mean by like we can enter the IP address manually in the settings, or dynamically configured, we can say that while we are moving, let's say we are having a laptop, right? Or you can say we are having a mobile phone which is having internet, then the IP address configuration while the laptop or the phone is on movement, it will be done with the help of DHCP, that is Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, right? Not only IP address is required, a subnet mask and a gateway that is a default gateway is also required in order to access the location of that computer in the network, right? And this gateway provides access to wider network. So the IP addresses which presently we are using are IPv4, that is Internet Protocol version 4, but these are of limited range, right? Like we talk about, there are only 32-bit IP addresses. That means 2 raised to power 32-bit makes about 4 billion available IPv4 addresses, which are now short of, right? Our user base is increasing day by day. In pandemic also, the internet user base has increased a lot, right? The students which were earlier not in an, like they were not using internet, they were not accessing things via internet, now they are also studying using internet. So one major factor is this also. Otherwise also we are now surrounded with smart devices wherein each and every device need internet. So the user base of internet is increasing, for which we will gradually have to switch to IPv6, that is 128-bit addressing protocol, right? It will be having other than that, IPv4 was having four groups which were separated with three dots. Now there will be eight numbers which will be separated with dots, and that is the eight group of hexadecimal quadrats. Okay, so our IP in coming time, our IP will also, expand, right? So it will be, we will be following IPv6. Okay, so now when we talk about protocols like internet protocols, we talk about the quick and the fast access of internet. That is like when we send one message and it hardly takes a blink of eye and it reaches the other end. So how fast this internet is, right? That message might have visited various nodes or computers which are connected over network, and then reached the destination. Maybe we are like sitting in India and I have to send message in America, so there will be so many hops that message would have traveled to reach that destination, right? How it is being done so fast? This is another question that comes into our mind when we talk about internet, right? So the basic understanding of how internet work is very important to us, right? We must know that various protocols work behind internet to make it faster and error free also, right? So not only a single protocol, it entire suite of protocol work behind it, that is TCP/IP protocol. TCP/IP is the basis of the entire communication being done. That is Transmission Control Protocol, TCP, and IP is Internet Protocol. Right. Another important protocol which is being used is HTTP, which is Hypertext Transfer Protocol, wherein we use this protocol to transfer data and information, or basically files or text, so that there is a communication via internet, right? It is simple and extensible as well as stateless. By stateless we mean that, like we know that internet works on client server model, right? There will be one client which will ask you for some information, and there will be server which will provide you that particular information, right? In the picture also you can see there is a client like a computer, wherein there will be a browser, and that browser will send some request. Let it be via browser we are finding, let's say, google.com. So the request of google.com is sent to the server, and that Google server will in turn give back the response in the form of Google page on the which will be displayed on the browser, right? So this is how HTTP like functions, right? So another important aspect of HTTP protocol is there is a URL, that is Uniform Resource Locator. Now what this Uniform Resource Locator do is, in a browser we enter this is a format for URL. We enter the protocol, then the host name is followed with the port number and the path, and the file name is there with whatever we want to extract, or whatever we want to request to the server. Similarly, I gave the previous example wherein a google.com was requested by this browser to the server, right? And server then gave back request response and displayed the Google page over here, right? Similarly, this request was given through URL. Now URL will be having protocol. Protocol can be HTTP, can be HTTPS. Also, we'll discuss it in the entire type of protocols over here also, right? Then host name will be google.com. Like Google is the host name, and .com is the type of site, that is DNS server, right? With what kind of DNS server it is, commercial sites, right? And further the path or the file name, wherein let it be on this particular server some xyz file is having that abc xyz folder is having some abc.html file which is required to be accessed by the client, right? So in this way we extract or we request the information using URLs. Another part of URL is URI, which is Uniform Resource Identifier. Now, this Uniform Resource Identifier itself, identifier mean that a particular piece of information that we want to have, right? We will mention the entire path as it was mentioned in the URL, but along with that, there will be a query which will be accompanied with the URL, and it will specify the particular identifier which that particular you can say client want to extract, right? Like for example, this is the structure of URL, right? There's a protocol which we are using as HTTP. Then this one is the domain name, and this is a path name or the folder name wherein that particular file is present which the user want to access. Okay, so I hope the functioning of HTTP is clear to you. Now HTTP, how actually it the entire thing happen. First, user issues URL from the browser, like from here. It will enter the username URL, right? Now this particular URL will get converted into the request message. This request message will be having get method. These are the HTTP methods. There are many methods of HTTP, right? The first method is get method, then there is put method, further options, trace, delete, various kind of methods. This is basically to fetch the information from the server. Okay, then further we have a URL which is mentioned by the client over here along with the HTTP protocol and its version name, version number, right? And many other you can say informations are also displayed in the request message. These can be intercepted using many tools. Various tools are present, few commercial and few open source tools are also present that helps in intercepting this particular response message, right? Further, the server maps the URL to the file and program under that particular document which is mentioned in the URL. And if that server finds that particular directory or document into its file system, it will then generate a response message wherein the response message would have 200 OK if that particular file is found. If it is not found or some error is there, then the code might be different. This response status code would be in 400 series or 500 series accordingly if there is some internal server error or some other kind of application error, right? Then further, this response message, when the file is found, it will have 200 OK and it will be displayed on the browser, right? So in this way, the entire communication is done via HTTP protocol. But the biggest disadvantage of HTTP protocol is that, uh, like, like we know that there is a communication going on between the client and the server, right? But this request and response is sent in the clear text, right? Anyone who is sitting on the internet, like he can intercept it. I told you that using various commercial and open source tools, you can easily intercept what actually communication is being going on, right? So any intruder or any attacker can easily uh, sniff that what actually communication is going on. Now it will be no more confidential. So think of the scenario that this girl, Helen, she's using HTTP protocol and sending her password, which is a sensitive information she's sending, right? Now, this sensitive message or sensitive information is being sent in the clear text form, and any attacker or any intruder will sniff it easily because this is not having any kind of password encryption, right? So, taking this particular drawback into account, a secure version of HTTP was launched, which is known as Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure, right? Now, with the implementation of HTTPS, this person will send whenever he will send his password, it will get encrypted, and the attacker will not be able to see whatever he's sending. So you see, this HTTPS has enhanced the security of the information, of the very critical and sensitive information which was earlier sent in the plain text, right? So in this way, it adds into the security of the information being sent over internet. So similarly, now we know the in and out of internet, how it works, what are the protocols which function behind the image of internet, why it is faster, right? And what are the basic and the prior and very important steps taken to make the communication secure, right? Now we should need to know, like at server side, what actually happens. I will magnify it for you, that at server side system, what actual procedure is followed when we retrieve the information which is requested by us, right? So, for example, let's take a look on this slide. Suppose we are entering into the company's website, right? Now a request is being sent wherein browser you are requesting for something, and at the end that particular request will be reaching the server, obviously. Now this server, web server, right, this act as a gatekeeper. It will first of all check your authentication, your authenticated user or not, right? It will take a look onto your credentials, whether you satisfy the credential clearance or not. If you are a valid and a genuine user only, then it will allow you to access the web application server and database server. Now, web application server is a server wherein various websites are hosted, right? And their related data and file structure is stored into this particular web application server, right? It manages, it further have a connection to database server wherein the entire database of these particular websites is present, right? So you see, this is the entire structure of server-side system, wherein web servers, they are the servers which check for the files and documents where the particular data is kept with which particular web application server. And further, web application server is having various, it's a house of various website wherein all these websites are uh, like you can say deployed, or these are the production servers. Okay, then further we have a database server wherein the entire data is stored. So, when we interact with any website, with any shopping website, let's say, or e-commerce website, then this system is only which is used each and every time, right? Here, like in this example, when a web application works, user submits shopping online, right? Shopping cart order on website, it gets connected to the internet. Further, it checks to various web servers check that whether it is connected to the web application server which I am having or not. If this web server will check the genuinity of this particular user. If he's not genuine, he's not authenticated, his credentials are not right, it will stop its access over here only. So you see, that's why I call them gatekeepers. These are guards actually, right? So they will stop the further access to the website as well as to the databases, right? I hope the picture is much more clearer now. Further, if we talk about the scenario when attacker is there in the picture, then attacker can by hook or crook can steal our credentials or our the you can say credit card details of the user, and he himself can act as a genuine user because he's having all the credentials. He will get access to the web application server, and he can even deface it. He can make any kind of destruction over here. Maybe the code can be changed, right? Or maybe the database can be compromised. It depends upon the, the talent or the skill of the hacker, how deeper it causes harm to this entire system, right? So this is how attacker attacks our server side system. Now this attack cannot be like on only at the server side, or at the server end. You see here, the attacker, this hacker first has, he has injected a SQL command, right, and retrieved all the credit card details. That means the attack, first level of attack is done at the user side, wherein the credentials and the other important sensitive data is already sniffed, right? Then further on the server side. So you see, wherever there will be something weak, this attacker will attack that weak point only, right? This weakness can be at the browser level, it can be at the web application level, like website can be weak, or at the network level also here, right? And at the server side also. Okay, so we need to remove all the weaknesses in order to ensure security to our system. So there are various kinds of attack which can be done on the weakness of the system or the asset or the vulnerability of the asset. First one is malware. Malware is malicious software, right? This software is being installed into our system, and the user is not aware, like what actually is going on, what this software is for, what is the purpose of it, right? We that user do not know because he is unaware, right? And in turn, this malware will send all your details, your folders, your files, your important information to this attacker, right? So you are no longer safe. Okay, so beware, if there is some malware, you need to know, like in Task Manager, what all applications or services are presently being executed on your system using Task Manager, so that you may be able to get through all this. Another similar kind of attack is rogue software. Now, what rogue software do is it is being installed into your computer only, but it is used by the attacker. Okay, you cannot operate that particular software, your attacker can operate that software only, right? Again, it is used for sniffing or fetching information of your system, right? Then further we have phishing attack. In phishing attack, you might get an email which will be, let's assume an example. Let's say some ABCD bank, which is a genuine bank, has mailed you, and that bank is asking you to update your PIN number for security purposes. And I'm not aware for that, and I have read this mail, and I started changing my, PIN number or my credit card and password and all, right? Now this email was forged by the attacker. It was created by the attacker, which look likes the genuine bank email, but it was not actually. When you will go through that particular mail properly, you will get to know that whatever pin you will enter over here, it will reach the attacker, and then that attacker can, you know make any kind of misuse of your account, right? The further another kind of attack is password attack, wherein this attacker need not to have install any malware or any kind of software or send any mail. He need not to do anything like that. He will just log in into your user, log in into go to your website, let's say any banking website. He will enter your account number. Only the account number is sufficient. Now he will use various algorithms or tools which are present, that helps in guessing the password. You see, the length of our password is generally 8-digit long, right? And if we have set very easy password, let's say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, then it'll not be really difficult for the attacker to crack that password. Even if you have entered some random numbers, it will be not that difficult, because in our school time we used to learn those permutation and combination chapter, wherein we used to guess the outcome of every string, right? So using that password, in that method, you can easily guess the password. This is known as brute force, wherein your password is guessed, okay, using any kind of combinations. So this is password attack. Then another important type of attack is DDoS attack, wherein the server is overloaded with many requests at a time, and he is unable to make out like which request I should accept first and give response to that particular request first. So it denies to give, you can say, response to all the millions of requests at a time, and this is called distributed denial of service. So it denies to give any service, so it leads to unavailability of the service, right? Then there is man in the middle attack. Now this attack is like we earlier say that uh, client and server are communicating continuously, and it is someone in the network is sniffing it. So this man in the middle will sniff whatever we are communicating, right? Then next one is drive by download, wherein the whatever we download, right, during downloading that thing, some folders or some files which are hidden into the matter which we are downloading will come and be down and get downloaded on our system. That can be some virus or some worm also, right, that can cause harm to our system. Then last one is maladvertising, wherein the bad content is shown, and this again can cause harm to your system, as it may have various malware or rogue software in it, and it may also have rats, that is uh, rodents in it, which causes Trojan to get infected to your system. So we need to have protection from all these things, and how we will protect ourselves from this attacker. We need to prevent the unauthorized modification. Till now we have noticed, and unauthorized deletion also, or any kind of unauthorized updation should not be there. We need to get protected from there. Along with that, there must not be any unauthorized access. Okay, it should be password protected. Further, we know that whatever we are protecting is the data and information, right? We know our data is sensitive and critical enough that we need to save it from any kind of breach, right? So you see, data, when it has some meaning attached to it, or it is processed, then it become information, and we need to save, or we need to protect this information. Now, information security is must, right? It defines the preservation of confidentiality, integrity, and availability. If it is not there, that means our information is no longer safe. Information is basically an asset which, like other important business assets, have value, right? And consequently, it needs to be protected. Not only this, information security is the important process that protect the intellectual property of any organization by minimizing the expose of information to the unauthorized parties. It prevent all this with the preservation of confidentiality, integrity, and availability of the information. And these are the three basic verticals on which information security is implicated. And other than that, authenticity, accountability, and non-reputation, along with the reliability, are few others which need to be protected. But the basic ones are confidentiality, integrity, and availability only. These three, CIA. Okay, it is must to ensure security. Now, why we need information security? In order to ensure the availability of business, right? uh, Along with that, it poses, in order to take care of the confidentiality, integrity, and availability also, we need to protect data information system, because if there is no information security is implemented, then it will lead to the brand loss and reputation also. Reputation will also be lost. right? Your brand name will be lost. And increase productivity through best practice, right? So if we will follow the best practices, the productivity will definitely increase. So it will lead to higher level of assurance as well. Our competitors will not be like having any kind of a advantage. And even in terms of, if we talk about disaster problem or some risk uh, is there, then we will be able to recover fast, right? It will lead to business continuity. So these are the reasons why information security is must, and we must preserve confidentiality, integrity, and availability, as it is the heart of the information system and information security as well, right? So you see, there can be various attacks on the CIA trial. Now, how these attacks can be done? We know that confidentiality of any information is must, because we need to encrypt the data. Now, that encrypted data can also be decrypted, right? There are few decryption algorithms also. So your encrypted data encryption algorithm can easily be cracked. And if that data is not at all encrypted, that means it is you are inviting the attacker to attack. The man in the middle attack will, you know, directly it will attack on the plain text, right? He can make unauthorized copy of your sensitive data, and even it can leak your data, right? And not only this, the spyware or malware can be installed on your system in order to you know uh, get a track of all your files and folders. So these can also be used. So all these methods are directly done to attack the confidentiality of the information, right? Further, we have the integrity, right? Excuse me. Is the screen visible to all of you?
No, ma, I think there was some slacking.
Right, right. Let me check. I think the
I think the
system has
network
hang.
drop, ma, network drop kind of thing.
Yes, yes. Just a second. I'll open this presentation again. Just a
Okay.
second. I think there is some like a system has hanged maybe. It's not responding.
Yeah, now it's clear, ma. Now it's clear.
It's clear? Okay. There's some technical problem, I guess. The system has become slow a bit.
Yes, yes. You can just take it, no issues. Yeah, now it's fine.
Okay, so we were discussing about the attack on confidentiality, and then now it's time to check the integrity issues and the attack which are posed on integrity. The very first one is web penetration for malware insertion. Whenever there is some malware installation on our system, it can also not only share the data, but it will also make modification into that data, right? Uh, you can use malware for maliciously accessing the server and forging all the records. Your database scan, which is an unauthorized scan, can also be there. And there can be a remote controlling zombie system, wherein the entire system will become like controlled by somebody else, some attacker remotely. And another kind of attack can be availability attack. This would be an example which we discussed earlier, that is distributed denial of service, wherein flooding of a server with too many requests will happen, right? And there will be some ransomware attack, right? So all these kind of attacks lead to the loss of confidentiality, integrity, and availability of the information, which is not at all, it is not at all acceptable. So you see another kind of security issues which we will be discussing is again the similar problem, I guess. Is it visible right now?
No, no, I think it's again a problem.
Again the same problem occurred. Let me see.
Maybe you can just discuss. Maybe you can just discuss for another 5-10 minutes. Maybe you can conclude.
Okay, sir. So you see, whenever there is some interruption in the normal flow, when we say that the message or the email which we are considering is not being reached to the listener, that means when there is interruption, your message being passed is not reaching that destination, then it would be the problem in the normal flow, right? uh, I think we will go like this only. It will be better, right? Rather than maximizing the screen. So
Please
there
go
is
ahead.
some
This is better.
interruption. Yeah. So there is interruption in the normal flow, and we will be having problem again. This is a security issue. When there is a modification in the whatever message is being sent, then there will be again a security issue. Similarly, if there is some interception, the attacker is listening to the communication, again, it's a security issue. And if it is fabricated by the attacker only, again, a security issue. And ultimately, when both of them do not rely on each other, let's say the sender is sending, have you get it? The listener says, no, I haven't get that message. Similarly, listener is asking, have you sent it? And the speaker is saying, no, I have not sent it. So there is lack of reliability now, which is again a security issue, right? Reputation issue. So similarly, the interruption will lead to availability problem, right? Modification will lead to integrity attack. Interception will lead to confidentiality attack. Similarly, fabrication will lead to authenticity attack, and reputation will be the non-reputation problem. So similarly, these attacks are posed on the vulnerability. As I told you, it can be anywhere. This is actually weakness in the asset. It can be in the network, it can be in the browser or in the website, or it can be even at the server side. So we need to fill or fix this vulnerability first. And threats is an another terminology wherein this threat is like any event which is happening, and it has a potential or a power to cause harm to the organization or individual, right? So we first need to fix these vulnerabilities. Threat will automatically stop, right? And ultimately the risk will also not be there, because risk is dependent upon the vulnerability and threat. As risk is a potential for loss or damage when a threat exploits a vulnerability. Okay, so if there is no vulnerability, there will be no threat, and ultimately no risk will be there. Okay, so there it is a time to fix all these vulnerabilities. We first need to identify the vulnerability, then we need to analyze what risk is. We need to evaluate that risk, like what loss we will be having if that risk is there, and then we have to treat it by fixing those vulnerabilities. Okay, then further, if we talk about, there is an unexpected growth in the technology right from 1990s till 2020s. The now we are like presently moving into information of things, that is IoT. So the technology is evolving day by day, its usage is evolving, and we are becoming more and more dependent upon technology, and so is the security problems also, they are also evolving, and so should be the solutions as well. Solutions should also evolve, and this evolution should never stop, right? So this is the bigger picture wherein network and information security are at the basic level, and then it is followed by the cyber security. So cyber security is protecting the data and information networks, and it uses these securing IT and ICT products, right? So if there is cybersecurity, we are focusing on cybersecurity, only then we can go for cyber safety. Uh, our main focus is our people which are using the internet, right? We have which are using the technology. Their physical and emotional well-being must be protected, right? So the IT security is basically also called computer security. It is implemented like in an organization. We are having IT specialists which are responsible for keeping all the technology within the company secure from any kind of malicious or cyber attack, and they often attempt to breach into the critical private information, and they protect us from the attacker from gaining control to the internal system, right? Further, it can be done with the help of implementation of these two things. One is authentication, another one is authorization. We need to control the access of the entire system or the organization's infrastructure and all the assets. Access control, we mean that the ability to permit or deny the use of the resource by a user uh, through these three essential services, right? And authentication is one of the another important aspect wherein we need to identify the reliable users, like by asking them their username and password. We can do this, right? We can check their credentials that whether they are genuine users or not. Similarly, authorization is another aspect where we see that the level of privileges being given to the user or the roles which are provided to the users are working properly or not. For example, if there is a website wherein there are three roles, one is for principal, another one for teacher, and third one for student, any student should not get the powers of principal or teacher, right? This is what authorization is, right? So we need to control which user is allowed to do what with that source, right? So ultimately, we are trying to secure ourselves by spreading awareness. We must be aware, like what information we are having presently, how important that information is. Let it be my credit card details, let it be my bank account number, and my net banking password, right? And how important they are. Okay, if it is empty, then no issue, otherwise it can cause a big problem to me, right? Then how secure are these? Further, we I have to assess that what will happen if it goes into the wrong hand, right? And ultimately I have to take precaution to protect it, right? So there are a few common sense tips for securing ourselves, right? The first thing is the common sense, which is must, right? We must be aware of each and every security issue, right? We must regularly update and patch our system. We should update our operating system. Like we should update our applications which we have installed in our phones, right? We must use antiviruses and anti-spywares into our devices. Be careful while doing any kind of file sharing. Okay, you must check what you are downloading and from where you are downloading. You must download anything and everything from a genuine website only. If you are talking about mobile phones, then you must use Play Store or App Store only, right? Then further, you must need to read the computer messages and not just blindly click next, next, next. First, you need to read those messages. Sometime some attacker is communicating to our system, but we just randomly just cancel it or say okay. That lead to grant him access, right? So if we read the messages carefully, uh, we cannot fall into that trap. Read the emails also, especially if it do not belongs to someone you know. Do not read those mails directly. Delete them, and not even download the attachments which are present to it. Don't even open it, and these may have malwares or viruses and worms, right? Keep your password strong and to yourself only. That strong password will help you in the password attack will not be there. So ultimately, cybersecurity, cyber ethics, and cyber safety will be achieved. If anybody is having any kind of query, kindly ask me, or you can also mail me at this mail ID. Any questions, please? You are having any questions?
Yeah, thank you, ma'am, for this session. And
Thank you, sir.
if there are any questions, may I get the PowerPoint presentation? I think someone is asking. Okay, we will get back to you, sir, on that aspect. If you have any questions, all the participants, I hope you all got like what are the internet fundamentals, what basically like what was the information security, all those things you might have been learned as part of the session. And if you have any questions, kindly keep it in the chat area so that we will be able to help you out with the some of the responses. We will let you know, sir. The PPT we will share it with you. Don't worry. Tomorrow we will share it along with this assessment link. Yeah, we are not allowed to talk. Yeah, you can just keep it here, sir. Or like if you have any query, kindly let me know so that I will enable you. Manas Chakravarti, like if you have any query, kindly let me know, sir. We will try to, give you that. All right, ma'am, thank you. All right, thank you, Karan, ma'am, for your wonderful session as well as time, which is allotted
Thank you,
for
sir.
this session. Thank you. I think if there are any thing, we will get back to you. Okay, I think that question is what is the zero-day vulnerability?
Okay. Zero day vulnerability is the vulnerability, as the name suggests, zero day. That means today only that vulnerability came into the picture, and no other, you can say, way out is there. You need to first identify that vulnerability which is posing any kind of, threat to you. That new vulnerability or newborn vulnerability is known as zero day vulnerability. Okay, so these days when we talk about evolution in technology, the evolution in hackers skill is also there. So they also tend to exploit various vulnerabilities and create various vulnerabilities, and this is called zero day vulnerability. I hope it is clear.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for joining us and enlightening us on the on that particular area. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much,
so
ma'am.
much, sir.
Thank you. So now, may I request Kajal Kashyap, ma'am, to take the next session on, you know, she's going to talk about the password security, data security, and the browser security. And if time permits, madam also going to talk about the mobile security. All right. So presently, Kajal Kashyap ma'am, she is a project engineer working at CDAC Noida, and she also have a similar kind of experiences, certifications like what Karanpreet ma'am is having. So we are very fortunate to have both of you for this morning sessions. So thank you, Kajal ma'am, for joining, and yeah, you can start the session, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, sir. So, a very good morning to all the respected participants. So, I welcome you all. And in this particular session, we are going to talk about the importance of data protection and the need of online security and the importance of online security in our day to day life. So, basically, what is the importance of data protection? As we mostly working from our homes due to this pandemic situation, our data is in the hand of, we can say, danger. So, our all data is stored online on the clouds, right? So what is the need of data protection and how we can secure our data? In this session we are going to talk about this, and definitely we will also learn that how we can protect ourselves from the different kind of threats that are coming from using the internets. So let's start our session. So here you can see in this first slide the number of internet users in India by the year of 2021. So here you can see we have added some numbers in order to give more clarification that how many of internet users are there in India by the year of 2021. So here we have 730 million internet users overall in India by 2021. And then 70% of e-commerce transactions are via mobile phones because mobile phones are basically handy and easy to carry. So we mostly do our e-commerce transactions through our mobile phones because it is easy to do the transactions. Also, it is very convenient for all of us. We almost carry our mobile phones everywhere. So if we want to do any sort of transactions, we can do it through our mobile phones. So this is showing us that from 100%, 70% of e-commerce transactions are done via our mobile phones. Then we have travel transactions are done 50% through online mode. So as mostly people are preferring online mode, so here we have 50% of travel transactions are done in online mode. And then we have 175 million online shoppers, which is a very huge data. And in this pandemic situation also, mostly people are, prefer doing online shopping, which is actually a very good thing because it actually basically stopping us in order to expose us through that pandemic situation. So 175 of millions of users are doing online shopping. Then we have 1.10 billion mobile connections are there, which is a very huge data. Nowadays everybody is carrying their mobile phones, even in the village, even in the city. So everyone has the mobile phones. Then we have 448 million social media users. Social media users means what how many people are using social media applications like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all of the other social media applications. So all in all, in India, 448 million social media users are there. So these are basically the numbers in order to give you clarifications that how many of people are using internet in India. So let's move ahead. Okay, these are the recent breaches that basically we have seen in these major big companies. So I hope you all have heard these major big companies like Airtel, MobiKwik, Big Basket, An Academy, and JustPay. So if I talk about one by one, then in Airtel, we have recently seen a data breach where customer name, date of birth, phone numbers, addresses, Aadhaar card, right, were stolen, or we can say up for sale for bitcoins worth rupees 3,500. And then we have seen recent data breach in MobiKwik, where the KYC information, basically in KYC information, you have to provide your personally identifiable documents like your Aadhaar card, your PAN card, any document which basically proves the person identity. So this is the KYC information that were breached in MobiKwik. And in Big Basket, I think everybody has heard about this Big Basket applications, which is used to, order groceries and other home products. So in Big Basket, personal information, addresses, PIN, IP addresses were, breached. And then there is one applications which is an academy. So here username, password, and email ID were breached. And then just pay here masked card data and card fingerprint data was for sale for $5,000 bitcoins. So these were some glimpse about the recent data breaches that has happened. Now some more latest news we can see here. So India sees 845% of jump in cybersecurity attacks, or we can say in cyber attacks on mobile devices. So as we had already discussed that most of us are using our mobile phones, and for every thing, for every transactions, or for purchasing anything, we are basically dependent on our mobile phones. So definitely if we are using so much mobile phones, if we are dependent on our mobile phones so much, then definitely cyber attacks will also increase in terms of mobile devices. So this was the cyber attack which was seen between October 2020 and March 2021. So in February 2021, India witnessed 9.04 million attacks, which is actually a very huge data. And the total number of attacks recovered in India during January and February 2021 was around 15 million. So you all can imagine how much of data is in danger, right? So 2.9 lakh cybersecurity incidents related to digital banking reported in the year of 2020. So this was the some glimpse of some latest news and what is actually happening in the world of cyber attacks, in the world of cybersecurity, and how much of attacks are increasing in from past few years. Now, talking about cybercrime, it is really much essential for all of us to understand what actually is the cybercrime and who are committing these crimes. So basically, cybercrime has become a big problem, not only for, big persons, but for all of us, like for all the general publics also, and for everyone. So basically, um, as the internet, or we can say as there are some advancement coming in the internet technologies, cyber crimes are also increasing day by day. So we need to first understand that what actually is cybercrime. So basically, cybercrime is kind of criminal activity that will basically target whatever the electronic devices you will carry, whether you are having your mobile phone, you're having your desktop at home, you're having your laptop, your tablets, any electronic devices in which you are having your data. So basically, the main motive of cybercrime is to take all of your sensitive data, which is present in your electronic devices. So here, who is performing these cyber crimes? So there are some cyber criminals, which we call it in a common language or common as a word as hacker. So hackers are basically performing these cyber crimes, and they are targeting more and more people, more and more electronic devices, so that they can, gather their information, whether it will be financial, whether it will be about money, whether it will be about any, sensitive information. So here you can see one particular sentence that a major attack vector of cybercrime is to exploit broken software. Now, what do you mean by broken software? Basically, broken software are those software whenever, let's suppose you are using whatever softwares in your laptops or computers. So, whenever you are not regularly updating those softwares, then in some period of time, those software become weak. Basically, if you do not update it, they will become weak, and they will be easy to hack. So what cyber criminals are doing, cyber criminals are basically targeting these kind of peoples who are not regularly updating their softwares, who are not regularly updating their applications, and they are using, old softwares, old applications. So once they find these kind of people, they can easily enter into their system through these, broken softwares. Nowadays, we have a lot of, um, tools on the internet which is available. So through that tools, anybody can enter in your system and can take your information, and anybody can enter in your system through these broken software. So it is very much recommended to regularly update your softwares, and please do not make your softwares weak so that hackers can take all the privileges and enter into your electronic device. Now, if we are talking about cybercrime, then from cybercrimes, there comes three terms, that is vulnerability, threat, and risk. Now, what is vulnerability? As we had discussed about this term, that is broken software, these are the basically weak softwares. So vulnerability is also the same thing. Vulnerability basically are the weaknesses or gaps in the security program. So we can say that weaknesses or gaps in softwares and hardwares whenever you are not regularly updating it. So if you are, you know, using old versions of software, old versions of applications, definitely some people are still using old version of their operating system. So if you are using these kind of things, definitely your system, your hardware and your device can be easily vulnerable, or there is some vulnerability in your devices. Next we have threat. So basically threat, we can say that anything that can exploit a vulnerability intentionally or accidentally and obtain damage or destroy an asset, that is your threat. Then we have risk. So risk is basically the potential for any loss, damage, or we can say destruction of an asset as a result of threat exploiting a vulnerability. So these things all are relatable. If one thing happen, other thing will automatically happen. So we need to make sure that uh, we basically regularly update whatever the software's applications we are using on regular basis, so that our softwares and our applications will not become vulnerable. And if they will not become vulnerable, definitely you will be free from other terms, that is threat and risk. So all in all, we have to make sure that we are always taking care of our softwares applications, and we are always using updated softwares and applications. Now this is, here you can see threads in common applications that we are using. So nowadays, as we had discussed, we are mostly dependent on internet for each and every work. We all are having our mobile phones, and we all are using different applications for different requirements, right? So here, these applications definitely giving us some kind of advantages, but we shall not forget that these applications have some disadvantages also. Now, in common, day-to-day life, we are using a lot of applications like online taxi booking applications, education applications, for studying, for study purpose, and banking applications definitely to access our bank facilities, so that we shall not we don't have to go to our bank, and we can definitely use the banking features or the banking facilities in from our mobile phones. And then we are mostly using shopping applications, job portals, and chatting instant messaging applications, hotel and travel booking applications, online gaming applications. So what happens is, when we are using these applications, when we first download these applications, this will ask for our personal details, like we have to register in these applications first before using these applications. So they will be asking our name, our personal informations like our email address, our mobile phone, date of birth, and if the application is paid, that means, let's suppose if you are using some education applications and the course is paid or the application is paid, then they will be asking your financial information, like from which mode of payment you want to do the payment. So if I select the credit card payment, then I'll definitely have to provide my credit card details, like my credit card number, my CVV number, and then my expiry date, things like this. And if the mode of payment is other, then I have to provide the same details too in that particular applications. Now everything is fine, but what happens when one of these application got hacked one day, right? So we basically cannot close our eyes and trust on these applications. So any application can be hacked at any point of time. So basically the idea is to, I'm not saying that please do not use these applications, just use these applications, but you need to be careful while using these applications. So what we can do in order to protect ourselves, basically first thing, I have seen personally a lot that mostly people um, are downloading a lot of applications in their mobile phones, and they basically don't use these applications, all those applications, but still they are having in their mobile phones. So what is the point of downloading and placing those applications in your mobile phones when you are not using it? So the simple funda is to limit the applications which you use. Only download those applications which you use in your daily basis. First thing is. Second thing, do not download a lot of application. Sorry, do not download all the applications or any applications from any link that you receive on your email, or that you receive on your social media applications. That let's suppose you have received one email that please download this applications and you will be getting free 1 month subscriptions, stuff like that. So try to avoid these kind of things, and please do not download any applications from the links or any third party websites, because how can we trust that the link they are providing and the application that I'm going to download from that website is generally safe? What basically can happen, malware can also download it with that applications and can install in our system on mobile phones. So this can also happen. So try to avoid downloading the applications from any sort of links or any sort of third party websites. Just download the links only, just download the applications only from the authenticated stores. For example, if you are an Android user, try to go to the Play Store and download all the applications from there. But first, whatever the applications you want to download, just first check the ratings and the reviews of that application also before downloading the applications. Second, if you are an iOS user, try to go to straightly to the app store and then download all the applications from there itself. And definitely, likewise, you need to check the reviews and the ratings in the same way. So these are the very basic and small things which we basically do not look over, and we download anything from anywhere. We thought that okay, this is looking good and we shall download this, but please, some people are also downloading applications from the advertisements also. So this is also a tactic of hacker in which they will try to fool people, and once you click on that advertisement, automatically one malware will come with that application and can steal or destroy the information which is present in your mobile phones or your electronic devices. So I request to all the participants, kindly do not download any application software from any links that you receive, and please download all the applications and softwares from the authenticated stores and authenticated websites only, and please regularly update those applications and software also. Next, we have cyber security. Now, we had discussed about cyber crime, how much of cyber crime are going on in the year of 2021, and what basically hackers are trying to get. Now, it is really much essential to understand this particular term, cyber security. So basically, cybersecurity can be described as the collective methods, technologies, and processes to help protect the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of your computer systems, network, and data against any kind of cyber attacks or any kind of unauthorized access. All in all, if I say in very simple language, then the main motive of cybersecurity is to protect your devices, whether it is network, whether it is your data, whether it is your computer, whether it is your laptop or mobile. So basically, the main motive of cybersecurity is to protect your electronic device from any kind of uh, attack, from any kind of damage, or from any kind of unauthorized access. Unauthorized access here means, let's suppose I'm having my mobile phone, so I only have the right to use that mobile phone, and no other person have the right to use that mobile phone. If another person will try to enter will try to access my mobile device without my permission, then it will be unauthorized access. So only the unauthorized person can use their device, can use their data, can use their information, and no other unauthorized person will be able to use that data, device, or any information. So here you can see, as the internet users are increasing day by day, security threats are also increasing day by day. So it is really much, essential for all of us to protect ourselves, our family, our friends from these kind of cyber threats. Here you are seeing one particular sentence, that a major part of cybersecurity is to fix broken software. Now, we had discussed in the previous slides that what is basically the work of cyber criminals is to, find broken software. But here in the cyber security, this is opposite. Here the work of cybersecurity is to fix those broken software, is to fix those weak software. If you will find some broken software, then what cybersecurity professional will do, basically they will try to fix those software. How they will fix? Basically they will try to update those software, they will try to check that what are the weaknesses in that software, how the why basically the software is getting weak. So they will first find the reason and they will then you know fix that. So this is basically the motive of cybersecurity. Also, the main purpose of cybersecurity is to protect all organizational assets. Assets means whatever you will be having, whatever you are having in your organizations, whatever things you are having. So, all in all, the main purpose of cybersecurity is to protect your organizational assets from both external and internal threats, as well as any kind of disruption caused due to natural disasters. So, these all cover under cybersecurity. Let's move ahead. So here we have added a few components which will give you some idea that where basically cybersecurity currently is involved. So basically in online privacy, cybersecurity is playing a huge role. And then we have security padlocks, surveillance cameras, secure payment. In the secure payment mode, cybersecurity is playing a vast role. And then antivirus firewall, mobile security, global secure shield, then we have computer security. So these are the few components that we have added in order to give you, clarifications that where cybersecurity is playing a huge role. Now, talking about cybersecurity, we must shall talk about the goals of cybersecurity. So here there are three goals of cybersecurity. First one you can see here is confidentiality. Then you can see here is integrity, and then we have availability. Now, one by one, let's talk about this. Now, if all of these 3 points will be were missed due to any reason, then cybersecurity is null and nothing. So without these 3 points, cybersecurity is nothing. So we need to make sure that we are fulfilling these 3 points whenever we are talking about cybersecurity. So first we have confidentiality. So confidentiality means those who are authorized will have the access to see a particular information or to access any particular information, and those who are unauthorized will not be able to see that particular information or use that particular information. For example, if I am working in a particular organization, then I should only have the right to see that particular information, to view or to check and to do any kind of modification in the information that is of my organization. On the other hand, if some third person will come that is from any other organization, and he or she shall not have the right to see or view that particular information. So this is confidentiality. Only authorized person will be able to access the information, and no other third person will be able to see the particular information or to see particular data. Next one we have integrity. So integrity here means let's suppose I am a sender and the other person is a receiver. So I will be messaging one person, hi, how are you? So the other person shall also receive the same message and the meaning shall remain same. So he or she, basically the receiver, shall also receive the same message, hi, how are you? It shall not be changed. The meaning, the purpose, the content of the message shall not be changed. The information shall remain same. This is integrity. If by anyhow the message contents or the meaning of the message is changed, that means integrity is also lost. So this is integrity. Third one we have availability. So availability, ma'am, availability is here is mean if I am authorized person, that means if I am an authorized person and I will be needing some information or some resource in that period of time, that should be readily available to me. That means resources, information, data, whatever I will be needing, that should be readily available to me. This is availability. So I hope these 3 points are clear to all the respected participants. So let's move ahead. Here, this is a very interesting chart that you can see here. This is basically showing us that in the year of 2021, what happens in an internet minute. So basically, this is showing all the um, data from the internet world, or from, we can say that, from the social media applications. So here you can see a number of social media applications which is showing that how much of people are using these social media applications in just 60 seconds. So let me discuss it one by one. If I start with a very famous application which is of Facebook, then 1.4 million people are scrolling in 60 seconds. So this is a very huge data. You all can imagine this much of scrollings are coming in just 60 seconds. Then what about other time? Then we have, if I talk about the Netflix, then 28,000 subscribers are watching in 60 seconds. And then 3.4 million snaps are created in 60 seconds. If I talk about YouTube, then 500 hours of contents are uploaded on the YouTube and contents are watched on YouTube. If I talk about the most famous applications that we all are using, I think we all are dependent on this particular application, which is WhatsApp. So if I talk about this particular WhatsApp, then nearly 70 million messages are sent over WhatsApp, you know, in 60 seconds. Same goes for Facebook Messenger. Nearly 70 million messages are sent over Facebook Messenger. And the countings are going on with all of the other, applications, or we can say social media applications. So this is a very huge, numbers, very huge data, which is, going on. So you can imagine this much of data is, going on. Then what about other time? We also can see here that people are sending a lot of text messages in just 60 seconds. So they are sending 21.1 million text in 60 seconds. So this is definitely a very, very huge data. Now, talking about this particular topic, this is a very interesting topic that mostly people ask, that how does Google knows everything about them? So we definitely uh, heard a lot of questions that how does Google knows about me so well? So basically, we ourselves are providing our personal information to the Google. Google is, you know, no responsible, but we are responsible for, giving our information to the Google. Let's see how. So basically, these are the few components that is, giving information to the Google about us. Now, how they are giving information? When we are using these components, then they are passing our information to the Google. So basically, whenever we are using Google Chrome browser, their browser history is saved. The website we visited, the data is also saved there. So through that, Google pass on all the information Google Chrome browser pass on all the information to the Google. So if you are not habitual to, delete your browser history on daily basis, definitely your activity Google can track in a very easy way. You can see here, this is actually a proof. And then we have the next applications, which is mostly people we all are using, that is YouTube. So whatever the videos we watch on YouTube, if you have a channel on YouTube, you upload videos, or you simply if you watch videos, then YouTube will share all the things, that what kind of videos we watch, what kind of videos we dislikes, what kind of videos we watch on mostly time. So this is how Google knows about us. Then we have the Google Maps. So in Google Maps, whenever we visit through, whenever we search for any location, whenever we search for any place, then definitely Google Maps is sharing that information with Google. Then we have a Hangout application. This is a very basic application which we mostly find out in Android mobile phones. So what this application basically does, when you open this particular application, it will ask you to make your default applications for saving your contacts and your conversation. And once you click on OK, it will save all of your contacts, it will save all of your conversations. So whatever the conversation you do with other person, Google knows everything about it. Then we have one photos application, which is again in Android mobile phones. So here, what we are doing, we basically tag people there in this particular photos applications, and then we have calendar applications in which we mark our upcoming plans so that we shall not forget that plans, and we also marks our upcoming appointments, right? So next we have Google search browser. So whatever the queries you searched on, let's suppose you are searching for a nearby cafe, definitely Google will know about it. If you are searching for a particular product, Google will get to know about this also. Next, we have a Gmail. So whatever the contacts, everybody knows about this Gmail thing, that it is sharing everything with Google. So whatever the contacts you saved on Gmail, whatever the emails you shared, you receive, you sent, these all are the information that Google is getting. Then products you searched on, products you clicked on, ads you click on, topics you are interested in, and the new sites you visited. So these are all the few components through which Google is getting all these small information, all the big information about us. So this is solely all basically the reason that Google is getting all the information about us. Now the next topic is very interesting topic, that is digital footprint. Basically, what is actually digital footprint? Mostly people are not aware about this particular term, and here we would like to, talk. We would like to talk about this particular term, that what actually is digital footprint. So basically, a digital footprint is a trail of data you create while using the internet. All in all, whenever you are, using internet, whatever you are doing on the internet, from small to big, everything is storing on the internet in a particular file from your name. So this is a very risky thing. So from small to big, again I'm repeating this word, from small to big, because every activity you are doing on the internet is actually storing in a particular file from your name, which is in the form of a digital footprint. So this is digital footprint. Whether you are visiting any website, whether you are sending any email, whether you are receiving any email, whether you are submitting any information to any online form, everything is marking on the internet, everything is storing on the internet in a form, in a file from your name. So you need to be careful, we need to be careful about what we are going to share on the internet, where we are going to share on the internet, and with whom we are going to share on the internet. And before sharing anything over the internet, we need to make sure that we basically think twice before sharing anything on the internet. And we need to make sure that we also think about the consequences, that what can be basically what shall be done if I share this thing, and what can be the consequences in the future also. Now, talking about digital footprints, we have two type of digital footprints. First one we have passive, other one we have active. Now I will discuss this one by one. So I'll start with the passive one. So a passive digital footprint is a data trail you unintentionally leave online. For example, if you visit any website, then automatically the website will take your IP address, the website will take your approximate location, the website will take your, or we can say, identify your internet service provider, and small other information. So this basically you are not aware, you are basically busy in surfing that particular website, and you are not aware that your this information has already passed on to the internet. So this is passive digital footprint in which you are not aware that you are actually passing on your information to the internet. Next, we have active. So an active digital footprint includes data that basically that you intentionally submit online. For example, if you are submitting any information to the online forms that will be asking you by any through any emails or through any websites. So if you are submitting those informations, that is actually your personal details, but if you are submitting those informations, definitely you are responsible and you know about it, and you yourself are providing your information. So this is also stored on the internet. One more thing that you all might be thinking, that can we delete our digital footprints? If this is this risky, then surely we need to delete it as soon as possible. Now let me tell you, you cannot delete your digital footprints, it will remain permanent. You can delete the information, the photos, videos, messages from your devices, from your social media account. But once you post it on the internet, let's suppose you have posted one photo on your Facebook, and in like 1 year, 2 year, or 1 month, you have deleted it. But you have deleted it from your social media, but you cannot delete it from the internet. Once you have posted it on the internet, you will not be able to delete it. Everything is storing on the internet, in short. So no, you cannot delete your digital footprints, it will remain permanent for lifetime. Now, what we can do to protect ourselves, we need to be careful while visiting the websites, what kind of websites we are visiting, what kind of links we are opening, what kind of emails we are clicking upon. So all these things we need to take care, that what kind of uh, images we are sharing. Sometimes we just share some post on the Facebook just to be cool. So these are the things that is already also recorded on the internet, that you have shared this post, you have shared this photo. So we need to basically think twice before sharing anything over the internet. Now, how to preserve your digital footprint? Always think long term before posting anything. Definitely, we need to think before doing anything on the internet, because internet is a very risky thing, and there are a lot of disadvantages of using internet, definitely. And avoid making virtual or online friends, because how can we trust that who is the person sitting behind that screen? We cannot trust it. And keep your personal information private, definitely. And if you basically receive any friend request in your social media account, then before straightly accepting that request, first you need to verify the profile. How you will verify? You can go to different social media platforms and can search for that person. If you find that person and the information that he or she is providing is looking you genuine, definitely you can accept the friend request. Else, if you are not getting any information, definitely I'll recommend to please delete that request. And then use privacy setting on social networking pages. So every social networking or every social media application has privacy settings. So definitely you can use that try to go to that privacy settings and check that what privacy settings you are having, and what kind of privacy you can apply in your social media accounts in order to protect your accounts. Protect your privacy and privacy of your friends and family also, definitely. And have a time limit on the time spent on social media. Basically, time is very, very precious. Please do not spend it on social media a lot. Just try to spend it with your family and friends. Now, here we have some primary threats to device security. Now, we all are carrying our electronic devices. Then, there are so many threats which can occur in that devices also. Mostly, the common devices or common threats that can occur in our devices are viruses and worms, Trojan horse, and spyware. So let's discuss one by one. I hope you all have heard about viruses and worms. So basically, if I talk about the normal computer virus, then a computer virus is a malicious software program loaded onto a user computer without the user knowledge and performs malicious action. So once the virus will enter in your system, they will perform a lot of malicious, harmful activity in your system. They can definitely copy your data and send it to the hacker. They can definitely damage your data. If you are having an important sort of data, they can damage that data. Definitely, they can delete your data, they can corrupt that data, they can do anything. So this can be the most basically threat related to your viruses. If I talk about computer worm, then a computer worm is a type of a malware that will spread copies of itself from one computer to another computer. And the main thing is, if a worm will come into your system, so worm will replicate itself without any human interaction. So this is basically the main threat of a computer worm. And a worm does not need to attach itself to a software program in order to cause any sort of damage. So you can just imagine how much of um, a big risk these threats are. Then we have Trojan. So basically, Trojan, or we can also say it as a Trojan horse, is a type of a malicious code, or we can say is a type of a malicious software that will look legitimate. You will basically find out that the software is looking fine. This is basically looking of some use. But once you download it in your device, it will take control of your system, of your laptop, your computer, your mobile, and whatever the activity you do in your system, laptop, mobile, it will basically can transfer all the information to the hacker. Also, it can damage your data, it can disrupt your data, steal your data, or it can do any harmful action with your data or with your network. So the main basically work of Trojans is, once they download into your system, into your devices, it will automatically run. When you close your device also, then it will also run automatically. You do not need to run it, it will automatically run in the background. So this is the main threat of this kind of software. Then we have the third threat to device security, that is a spyware. So basically, spyware are a kind of some softwares which will basically, once they will install in your electronic device, they will basically, they can track each and every activity of whatever you are doing. Whatever you are doing activity online or with the help of internet, whatever basically the activities you are doing on the internet, it can track all of that thing. For example, let me give me a very small example. Let's suppose you are not aware that you are having some spyware in your system, and you are busy in surfing, or you are busy in logging into your banking portal. So once you enter, or once you log in into your banking portal, it can also track that. It can also track your username, your password. So this is a very, very risky software. Now, next threat we are having is malvertising. So basically, what is malvertising? This is a very common term that is, getting famous day by day, because this is a very, dangerous attack. So, malvertising is a kind of attack in which hackers will inject malicious code into a legitimate looking advertisements. So, what hackers are doing, they are targeting on the different websites in which more and more people are coming, more and more people are using. For example, let me give you a very small example. Uh, Hackers are basically finding that applications which people are using a lot. For example, if they are using some shopping website a lot, then they will basically take that website and they will inject one advertisement which is having one dangerous code inside that advertisement. And once you click that advertisement, definitely at that time malware will enter in your system, malware will install in your system and can do anything with your data, with your system, and can take control of everything. So this is a very dangerous thing. So we need to make sure that whenever we are accessing such type of websites or any websites we are accessing, please try to ignore these kind of advertisements, because we cannot trust whether it is a dangerous advertisements or a usual advertisements. So please do not click these type of advertisements. Now, talking about cyber frauds, we have seen a huge increase in the cyber frauds during this COVID-19 pandemic situations. So let's discuss what are the cyber frauds that we had seen a lot during this COVID-19 pandemic situation. So we already have seen a lot increase in phishing attacks, but in this particular period of time, we have seen a huge increase in phishing attacks. So there are a lot of phishing attacks going on, day by day. And then we have seen a huge increase in tab nabbing attacks, identity theft attack, donations, mass scams attacks. Basically, what hackers are doing, hackers are sending one email in which it is written that please donate for some COVID-19, pandemic victims. So if you give them donations, definitely you will be a victim of these kind of attacks. Then we have donation related to mass scams. We also have seen a lot of emails in which it is written, please click on the link or please fill all the details in order to win free sanitizer, free mask, stuff like that. So this is basically the tactics of hacker in order to fool people, in order to steal money from them. Then we have seen a huge increase in ransomware attack and keylogger attack. So let's discuss quickly one by one these attacks and see how we can protect ourselves from these kind of attacks. So here I would like to start with the identity theft attack. So identity theft is basically the crime of obtaining the personal or financial information of another person to use their identity to commit any kind of fraud, such as making unauthorized transactions or purchases. So here, if you are a victim of identity theft, then what hacker will basically target from you, so he will target the password and he will target the bank account information. He will try to take your bank account information, he will try to take your financial information, like from what is your credit card number information, and information stored on user computer, mobile phone, such as your contacts, videos, images, sensitive documents, anything. So basically, identity theft can be done when you are providing your personally identifiable document to someone. So if they are getting your Aadhaar card document, their PAN card, their driving license, any document which is basically you use as to prove your identity. So these are the basically motives of hackers whenever they are performing these kind of identity theft attack. Now, how we can protect ourselves from identity theft? Always safeguard your information. Please do not tell your personal information to anyone. Just keep it up to yourself. Protect your passwords. And please do not share your passwords with anyone. Also, please do not write your passwords anywhere. Be debit, credit card smart, and always try to check the what kind of transactions you are doing on your credit card, debit card. Just take a look that where you have done the transactions. Always try to destroy shred receipts not required. One thing I have seen a lot while visiting ATMs, whenever people are done with the transactions, whenever they are done, they just throw that transaction slip on the floor. So any time any hacker, any cyber criminal can visit that ATM and can just take your slip and can see your details. So this can also be a risky thing. So always try to shred the transaction slip once you are done with the ATM, and just tear it into small parts and then throw it in the dustbin only. It is very much requested to do not throw that slip on the floor itself. Be cautious with phishing links. Monitor your online activity. If you are not much active on social media accounts, then please try to delete those social media accounts. I have personally seen a lot of old age people are having a lot of social media accounts, but they are not using it. They do not know how to use that, but their children have made their accounts, but now they are not using it much. So what is the point of making that account? So always try to delete these kind of accounts if you are not using the social media accounts, because hackers are mostly targeting old age people accounts, and once they basically they are easy to hack. So once they enter into the old age people account, they can ask for the money from their friends, from their relatives. So this can be a very, very risky thing. Always monitor your online accounts. And if you are much active on social media, then please try to protect your account by applying some privacy settings, and always monitor that what is actually happening in your online accounts. If there is something fishy, report it. If something is looking you fishy, then definitely you need to look over that thing. Be careful with public wi-fi. Please do not do any sort of transactions if you are using public wi-fi. Do not access your private information if you are using public wi-fi. In case of emergency, then also please do not use these kind of public wi-fi. If it is uh, trustable, then only use public wi-fi, because how can we assure that the person sitting behind that is basically a genuine person, or basically this is actually a genuine wi-fi? So we cannot trust each and everything, so we need to be careful with public wi-fi. Now, what to do if you are a victim of identity theft? Change your passwords as soon as possible. Report it to your nearest police immediately, or you can also contact your bank uh, immediately. Next, we have a keylogger. So let's see what actually is keylogger. So basically, keylogger is a hardware device, or we can say a software program that will monitor all your activity. So whenever you are typing from your keyboard anything, it will record each and everything. Now we have two type of keylogger. First one we have software one, other we have the hardware one. If I talk about software, these will come as well as basically in the form of a software. And once they install in your system, mobile phone, whatever you do, whatever you type, it will record each and everything. Let's suppose you have logged in your bank website, and you logged in through your username and the password. So it will record your username and the password, and each and everything it will record. Next one we have hardware. So this is the image that you can see here, is basically a hardware keylogger. This we have mostly seen in cyber cafes. So basically this is a small black devices which hacker will insert into the CPU, and nobody will be able to detect it because this is a very small device. And we also, while using public wi-fi's or public cafes, sorry, public wi-fi nahi, it's like public cafes, we basically don't check it that if there is some kind of devices are there or not. So this is actually a hardware keylogger. So whatever activity you do on your desktop while using the cyber cafe, it will record each and everything. So this is basically the work of keylogger. Next, we have the phishing cyber fraud. So this is a very, very common attack, and a big attack that is going on nowadays. So basically, phishing is a cybercrime in which a target, or we can say a lot of targets, are contacted by email, contacted by telephone, or contacted by text messages, and they will pretend that they are basically from a genuine institution, genuine organization, or they are a legitimate person, but actually on the other hand they are a cyber criminal, and they will be basically ask you your personal information, like your credit card number, your banking information, your password details, any information. And if you give them information, definitely you will be a victim of phishing attacks. Nowadays we are getting a lot of calls in which they will be asking you to update your bank details. So they will be ask you to confirm your bank details. So if you basically be in a trap of them, then definitely you can be a victim of phishing attack. Now, hackers are mostly targeting people through these phishing websites. Now, what they are doing, they are basically making copies of genuine websites. Like, for example, they are just making a phishing website which looks similar to gmail.com, but here the spellings are wrong. Basically, we basically do not check the spellings mostly, right? So if you basically do not look at careful the spellings of the URL, then definitely you can be a victim of phishing website. You will think, okay, this is a Gmail website, and you will provide your username and the password to it. And once you provide it, it will straightly goes to the hacker. So in this way, your Gmail account will be hacked. So we have a few examples here. The hacker are using www.gmai1.com, which is similarly looking like L. And then we have ICICIbank.com. So instead of B, they have used 6, which is actually looking like B. If we not look at it carefully, we have written it here. That is why we are going to, remember it, make it, basically can see it clearly. But if we will look it in the form of URL, then you will not be able to resemble it. Then we have Bank of India. So instead of O, they have used 0. Instead of O, they have used 00 in yahoo.com. So these are the few examples of phishing websites that hackers are creating day by day and fooling people day by day. So here, let me give you a small quick tips that how you can identify fake phishing websites. So what you have to do, you have to verify the URL of the web page. You need to check the padlock symbol. Let me give you a small demo. Let me just share my browser first and then uh, tell you the things. Just a second, let me share my screen. Okay, here you can see my screen clearly, I hope so. So basically, this is the CDAC website that I has opened. So basically, how to identify whether the website is a phishing website or a genuine website. So this is all in all a manual technique, and you not need to use any sort of tools. You can just see and check whether it is a phishing or a genuine website. So here what we can see is, first you have to check whether the website is HTTPS secure or not. So it should be HTTPS secure. Second thing, what you will check, you need to check the spelling of the URL. Here the spelling is www.cdac.in. I think everything is fine here. The spelling is quite fine. And here, third thing we will see is the lock, this small lock. So we call it as a padlock. So we have to see whether the website is having any padlock or not. Once it is having padlock, you need to click here. You need to see what it is showing. It is showing connection secure. You need to click on it. You are securely connected to this site. That means the website is quite fine. If you want to see more information, then you can click here. And if you want to see the digital certificate of a particular website, you can definitely see from here. So this is the digital certificate of a website. So I will not dig into much technical part. You can just use this particular tactic in order to um, check whether the website you are visiting, you are surfing, is actually a genuine website or a fake website. So definitely in this way, we can definitely make sure, we can check whether the website is a genuine website or a fake website. Next attack we are having is tab nabbing attack. So what actually is tab nabbing attack? Basically here there is one user who is busy in accessing a lot of tabs. So at one time he has opened a lot of tabs. First he has opened some shopping applications for electronics, cars, which is of eBay website. Then second tab he has opened is Flipkart shopping application. Third is the Hindu Times. Fourth is TechCrush. Fifth is Information Security and Education Awareness Portal. Sixth, he has opened some banking website. Seventh tab he has opened is Indian Development Portal. So he was busy in accessing a lot of tabs, and he's basically very busy, right? So what uh, let just look on the first tab, which is of electronics and cars. Now what is happening is the user is busy in accessing all the other tabs except the first tab. So he has not accessed the first tab from past few hours. Now what will happen in few hours? It will start connecting to some other website. So now when the user become free, he just come back to the first page, which is of eBay website. When he open that tab, what he sees this Gmail page, and he thought, okay, this is he basically do not remember that what page he was opening. He has opened. So he thought, okay, the Gmail was opened. So he basically provide his username and the password in order to sign in. And once he click on sign in, his actual genuine username and the password of Gmail will straightly goes away to the hacker. So this is how tab nabbing attack is going to perform. And tab nabbing uh, attack is this is how they are going to perform by the attackers. So one thing is there, if the user will check the URL. Here the URL is gmai1.com instead of gmai1.com. So this is the difference. This is actually a phishing website. So now if now basically the username and the password is already gone to the hacker. So this is how the tab nabbing attack is actually going to happen. Now, how to prevent tab nabbing? Always refresh the browser after returning back from other tabs. If you want to do anything, just refresh it first, then do it. First thing is why you are opening so much tabs. Just do not open so much tabs, just open one or two tabs. In this way, you will be able to prevent yourself from tab nabbing. Third thing is you need to check the spelling of the URL. Here in this case, the spelling is gmai1.com. If the user will check this, or if the user had checked this, his username and the password will not be able to pass on to the hacker. Then avoid financial transactions on tabbed browsers. And if you want to do any sort of transactions, then always use private browsers. Every window has private browser. Go there and you can use it. Now, what is private browser? Let me also show you this thing. Let me just open my share my screen first. Yeah. So how you can use your private browser? So here I have opened my browser, and this is the browser. Here you can see three lines. You need to click here. Yes, sir. I am showing the brief about incognito window or private window. So basically you need to click upon these three lines. Okay. And you will see here sync and save data, new tab, new window, new private window. So this is the private window in or incognito mode window. You need to click here. Once you click here, you will reach your private window and you are safe here. You can do a lot of things. I mean, whatever you want to do here, you can do here. You can do, you are safe to do your transactions here. If you want to access your personal information, definitely you can do here. It is basically a safe and nobody will be able to track you here. So if you want to do transactions, if you want to access your important information, definitely I'll recommend to use this private window. So this is how you can definitely use this private window. Now, next cyber fraud we are having is ransomware. So basically, what is ransomware? In short, if I say, it is already a form of malware. So ransomware is a type of malware that will prevent or limit user from accessing their system either by locking the system screen or by locking the user files unless a ransom is paid. So what hacker will do? Hacker will hack, or we can say hacker will lock your files, your important data, your system, your whole laptop, your whole computer, your whole mobile, and they will only give you the key in order to use that when you pay him some money. So this is actually a ransomware. Now talking about crypto ransomware. So in crypto ransomware, hacker will lock all your files, all your important data, and ask you some money. When you give him some money, then only he will provide you the key in order to use that particular file. And in case of locker ransomware, it will basically hacker will lock your whole system, and will you will not be able to use anything in your system. And once you pay him some money, he will demand some money from you. Once you pay him, then only you will be able to use your whole electronic device. Next topic is we have password security. Now, password is very crucial for all of us. We need not to tell our passwords to anyone. So hackers are basically using various techniques, tactics in order to take our passwords or to retrieve our passwords. So these are the few tactics that hackers are basically using. They are using shoulder surfing. So what basically is shoulder surfing? Let's suppose you are sitting in your office desktop, and you are busy in logging into your Gmail account or any website, any XYZ website. So what basically people will do, let's suppose you are busy and you are typing your login username and the password, and some person is just standing behind you and looking at your screen. So he or she can easily know about your username and the password of a particular website. So in this way, shoulder surfing can be done. Any person or any hacker which is having bad intentions can basically perform this type of attack. Then we have writing your uh, passwords on paper. So what mostly we are doing for the convenience purpose, we are just um, just a second. Yeah, for the convenient purpose, we are just writing our passwords on a piece of paper. We are just writing it on a sticky note, and we just stick it on our office decks or anywhere, just for the convenience part. So that the next time we just log in into our account, we need not to remember it. So this is a very, very bad tactic. Anybody can visit to your desktop, anybody can visit to your table and can see all of your passwords. So please do not write your passwords anywhere. Do not give your passwords over phone calls, over email, or any through any medium. Please do not share your passwords with anyone. Next, we have brute force attack. So under brute force attack, hackers are guessing your username and the password. So if you are using a weak username, weak password, let's suppose nowadays also people are using passwords like ABCD12345. So if you are using this kind of passwords, definitely you will be a victim of brute force attack. So anybody can guess these kind of passwords, definitely. Then we have a dictionary attack. So if you are thinking that you will use a strong word from dictionary and you will be protected from any kind of attack through pass any kind of password attack, then definitely you are wrong. uh, what basically hackers are doing nowadays, there are a lot of tools available which will scan all the dictionary word in like just like 10 minutes. So if you are using a password from dictionary, it will scan your password and will give the basically what password you are using in just seconds. So this is also a very bad technique or tactic, we can say that, or a bad habit if you are using your password from any dictionary. Now, what are the best practices to keep your password safe? always use a different password for each service. Now you will say how you can use different passwords for each service. This is very tough. We will discuss this in the next slide, that how you can use different passwords in a very easy and convenient way for different services. And you need to use a long and a complex password. Change your passwords in like 2 to 3 months, and use passphrase. Now what is passphrase? Let's see this. So this is basically a very good tactic or very good technique, we can say that, in which we can make our password secure, strong, and easy to remember it. So basically here in passphrase, what the funda is, we need to take a good sentence or your favorite sentence. It can be anything. So here in my case, I have taken my favorite sentence, which is never judge a book by its cover. So this is my favorite sentence, and I can remember this sentence for like for every time. You can say that. So now I will create a password, strong password from this particular sentence. So what I have done is I have taken small n from never. I have taken J from judge. I have taken at, which is a special character from A, and I have taken 6 from B. I have taken 6 again from B. I have taken exclamatory mark from I, which is the opposite of I, and I have taken capital C from C. So this is basically, this is how my password is ready. And I definitely can remember this password, and I can use this technique for different services in order to make sure that I can use different passwords in my different services. So this is how you can use this passphrase, and I request to all the respected participants to kindly switch to this passphrase technique in order to make sure that your password is strong enough. And definitely you can use different passphrase and different sentences according to your interest. Next, let's quickly discuss what are the preventions we can basically we can accept or we can learn in order to prevent ourselves. So always refresh the browser after returning back from other tabs, definitely, and do not open a lot of tabs. Just try to open limited tabs and do the things. Avoid phishing emails and questionable websites, and use private window. How you can use, we had discussed this. Always use updated antivirus software. Also, please always try to use paid antivirus software. Please do not use open source freely available software, because nothing is free on the internet. Everything is paid here. Everything is, taking each like it's like everything is taking something from you. So if you are dependent on like free softwares, then some malware or some viruses is also coming with that software in our system. So always try to use updated antivirus software, which is paid softwares. And increase your browser security settings. You can go to your browser security settings and set your settings according to your needs and the requirements. And avoid financial transactions on any tabbed browsers, and do not fall for ads that tempt you into downloading free softwares. As we had discussed, nothing is freely available on the internet. Always clear cookies and cache on daily basis, and disable auto connect when joining networks. Never use your passwords for Wi-Fi. Some people are still using their Wi-Fi passwords as admin and admin. So don't do these kind of things. Anybody can, basically make anybody can, make sure that you are using a weak password, and they can take basically privilege of that. So do not use these kind of passwords. And change the name of your default Wi-Fi network, and disable your wireless home network when you are not at home. So if you are not at home, then try to uh, close your Wi-Fi, and do use two-factor authentication on everything possible. Now, what is two-factor authentications? Whenever you are logging in a particular application or a particular website, first they will be asking your username, your password, and then the next thing you will be getting one OTP. So once you enter your OTP, then only you will be able to log in into a particular application. So this is a very, good habit or a good thing in order to protect our application, our data from any kind of attack. Do not install apps from third party. As discussed, please try to go to your Play Stores according to your mobile phones and download all the applications from there. And also record your IMEI number in case your mobile phone is lost, stolen by anyhow. This is the IMEI number that will help you in order to track your device. And here we have never open email attachments like VBS, SHS, PIF. If you can see these kind of extensions, please try to avoid those kind of attachments. And never open web links in your email. Always type links in your web browser. Check for the spelling mistakes. You can also get fake job offers which are having, spelling mistakes. So before proceeding to any URL, always make sure you check the spelling of the URL, and never trust the icons in the email. Nowadays hackers are so smart that they are actually, attaching the viruses and malware in the icons also. So if we click the icons by anyhow, we can be a victim of malware and virus. So the only conclusion that we have reached is the only system which is truly secure is the one which is switched off and unplugged. So only way to be safe is to pay attention and to act smart. Here the mantra of online safety is to pause and think before you connect. You need to make sure before doing anything on the internet that whatever you are sharing, with whom you are sharing, where you are sharing, and so that you can secure yourself and secure the nation. Here, as you all are aware that October, we are basically celebrating October month as the cyber security month. So we are basically running this project which is securing digital space quiz. So this is basically certain in association with CDAC Noida is conducting short online courses in securing digital space during 1st October to 31st October 2021. This is actually a online course and you can go there. This is for all the citizens under cyber closet, from children to old age people. Everyone can do this. Basically, this is under Cyber Closet project. This is sponsored by Mighty Government of India, and this event is available on MyGov platform. To participate in quiz and get certificate, there is no fee. Basically, all in all, this is on MyGov. This is the link, and once you click on this particular link, you will see a lot of videos which is based on password security, mobile security, and data security. This is a very interesting videos which is having some scenarios, which is having some, cartoons characters, so you will be able to understand it in more clarification. So you can definitely visit this particular link, and once you watch the videos, you can go to the quiz section. The quiz is very interesting also. The quiz is having a lot of scenario based question. This is not a simple quiz. You will find this quiz in a very, different way. So you will be getting all the scenario based quiz which you will be facing in your day to day life. So once you complete the quiz, then you will be getting the certificate which is from, the mighty government of India. So you can definitely grab this opportunity and can, participate in this particular thing. I will share the link in the chat box. And yeah. And thank you. Stay safe, stay secure, do your part, and be cyber smart. This was it for the particular session. If you have any questions, definitely you can ask me. Yeah. Thank you so much.
For the wonderful session. So I think here are there are some questions. How to control this info sharing with Google Incorporation? Like what are the, I think you have shown the Google screen. So they were asking like how do we control sharing of that information with that Google Drive or whatever it is.
Yeah, definitely. So, sir and ma'am, whenever you are using the applications like Google Chrome, the maps and all of the things, just try to delete the information from there. Just try to delete the history basically. if you are using any browser, whenever you are done with your internet activity, just clear your cache, just clear your cookies, clear your browser history on daily basis. So definitely in this way. And one thing, just do not click on the unwanted links, and just do not click on any unwanted websites. And before proceeding, before watching anything over the internet, before surfing anything over the internet, just try to check whether it is a secure website or a fake website. So yeah, in this way, uh, definitely delete those things, history, browser things, cache. In this way you can definitely protect yourself. Yeah, I'm sharing the link quiz here in the chat area. You all can see. Yes, sir.
Okay, what about the public Wi-Fi like airports and railway stations? Is it safe or like is there any
No,
vulnerability?
no, no. So definitely it's not safe. The public Wi-Fi, which is on airports and your railway stations, it is definitely not safe. So I request to all the participants to kindly do not use, please do not use these kind of Wi-Fis, because basically the thing is we cannot trust anyone, right? So there are so many people which will be using those kind of Wi-Fis, and how can we not think that some hacker will be sitting there, and basically they are waiting for each and everyone to share our to connect our device, right? So definitely this is risky. Do not use the public Wi-Fi. And if you are using it, then please do not do any sort of transactions. And if you need it very urgently, then do it, and do it as soon as possible, and don't do any sort of transactions basically. Yeah.
Okay, how can a person use my leftover bank transaction slip as there is no bank, as there is no info about the bank account number, ATM number, or kind of things. So that's the question.
So basically, I think the question is, if they are, if they are left with that slip on the floor, then how can the hacker will take privileges from that slip? I think so. So basically, I think the 4 digits or the 8 digit number of our bank account number is already written there. So what they will do, they can take your number from anywhere, right? Once they know your name is also written, your bank number, the your bank name is also written there. And once they get your number by anyhow, they can call you and they can reach you like, your bank number is this, and you will be like, yes, this is my number. And then they will be asking you questions related to that. And if you will provide, if you will trust them, definitely you will be a victim of this hacker. Yeah.
Okay, Windows Defender versus antivirus software, which to use?
So window defender and is great, but it is recommended if you use with antivirus, it will be super great. Yeah. So you can use both.
Okay, how safe is this online quiz portal?
Which one, sir?
How safe is this online quiz portal?
Online quiz portal. This
No,
which
no, I
I'm
think they
sharing.
were talking about the mygov.in.
Yeah. So definitely, sir, this is a MyGov portal. This is totally safe. Don't worry. And definitely you can go there, and you can take privilege of the quiz section. This is totally safe. No worries. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, being given to erase the digital footprint by Kajal ma'am. So I think they were talking about how to remove the digital footprints in the browser or
Uh,
the cache or
yeah,
whatever.
so sir and ma'am, we cannot delete our digital footprints once the things are done. This is we cannot delete it. But from now we can protect ourselves. We can take care of the things. What is done in the past is already done. You cannot delete it. But please make sure whenever you are using internet from now onwards, you are using it in a very thinking twice and doing it the things in a very you know uh, safe way. Yeah.
Okay, any particular browser is it more secure?
So basically we ourselves are responsible for making everything secure. So from my end, I will recommend the Mozilla Firefox. mostly it is mostly safe. You can use it, but whatever the browser you are using, just try to whatever whenever you are doing any sort of transactions, just do it in the private window mode. And yeah, this is basically I will say Mozilla Firefox is almost the same, safe. Yeah.
Yeah, in just added to that, Pranay Mandal, like the kind of usage also you have to mention. So whenever you are talking about, like if you are looking for a security, or if you're looking for a privacy, or if you are looking for security and a privacy, like what is that you are exactly looking for? So based on that, there are so many browsers which are available. So as Kazal mentioned, like one of the browser is the one is it's Mozilla Firefox. So which is an open source browser, anyone can make use of it. So you will be getting the continuous updates. So you have to ensure one point, the browser should be updated on regular intervals. So whichever the browser you gets regular updates kind of thing, then you can use it accordingly. And yes, ma'am, one more thing. The particular browser is more secure. Is there any on-life GUI portal for carrying the meeting, seminar, etc.? I think as of now, nothing has been done, sir. We will, if it is there, then the government will let you know. Okay. Yeah, I think you have given the quiz link and all the things. There are 5 quizzes. Okay, there are 5 quizzes for participation, which is to be participated in. Cousin, okay, you can take any quiz, sir. So first you can participate one quiz. Later part you can take the other quizzes also. You can complete all the quizzes so that you will get to know like where you are. So accordingly, you can take it for further. Yeah, can we
Am
make
I
the
audible,
private
sir?
incognito window as our default window? No, sir. It cannot be. Whenever you want, like you can convert it and you can use it accordingly, sir. Okay, thank you, Kajal ma'am. I think there are that's it as of now. Let's see if there are
uh,
anything.
Sir, I'm not getting any voice. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, yeah, you are audible, ma'am. You are audible. Okay, this last question we will take. How can I identify fake login payment page? Kajal ma'am, you are there?
Sir, I'm not getting the voice, sir. Let me just reconnect again.
Okay, let me answer this. How can I identify the fake login payment page? So as we discussed, like you have to ensure 3 things. One is the HTTP is there or not, and second thing you have to check for that lock symbol or padlock symbol, and third thing you have to check it for the certification. So if you click on the padlock, you will be getting one digital certificate, which is a SSL certificate. So you have to check the validity of the digital certificate. If all these 3 things are there, it is secure. So you can give your username and password, and you can continue the transaction. But at the same time, you ensure that during the transaction, throughout the transaction, whether the HTTPS is there or not. Okay, sometimes you will be getting some of the messages. So you are going out of this website, third party payment gateway, they may be viewing that data. So that time you have to take a call whether you wanted to continue or you wanted to stop the transaction. Okay, but if the transaction is continuing throughout the HTTPS, so while you are giving the username and password HTTPS, after while you are transferring the money, if HTTPS is there, we can go ahead. And while what are the transaction you are doing? So throughout the transaction, if the HTTPS is there, it's well and good. You can aramse do the transactions. Okay. So with this, we will conclude here, and we thank you all. Especially we thank you, Kazar ma'am, in spite of her wound, like she met with an accident, but she is came and she took the session. So we really appreciate Kazal ma'am for your commitment towards creating the awareness among these government officials. So thank you so much, Kazal ma'am, for joining the session, and we also thank all the participants who joined the session and who are very active throughout the session. So with this, like we are concluding here the first half, and the second half session we are going to start exactly by 2:25. and 2:30 the speaker will continue the session. So I request all of you come back by 2:30, so that like we can continue the session. You may not miss any of the information. Okay, so now it is up to you whether you want to stay back. You can stay back, or you wanted to log out, and if you want to come back again, you can come back also. Okay, so with this thing, like once again we thank all the participants like who have joined from various ministries and departments. So you all can requested back to join again by 2:30, in a maximum by 2:25, so that we will start our session by 2:30. Okay, so once again thank you, Kajal ma'am and Karanpreet ma'am, and we also thank all the participants who patiently attending the session. Thank you so much.